I'm going to be making an RNG setup on F122. So the game only came out a couple of weeks ago then, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are looking for really good setups from esports drivers and stuff, but I thought, no, none of that. Let's try a random setup. For those who don't know, RNG stands for random number generator, and what I've done is I've made a spreadsheet that literally just completely randomizes the numbers that we're going to input to the car. Now, we're going to try this a couple of times. As you can see, the results could be wild. What I'm particularly worried about is the front brake bias, because I always run out of 50 on all tracks. So if we end up on quite a high front brake bias, 66, 69, something like that, we're going to really struggle to get the car stopped. And of course, as well, the wings being wildly different. They're quite similar there, but if they're not wildly different like that, 7 front wing, 35 rear wing, we're going to be horrendously draggy. The other way around, we could be horrendously oversteery. So I'm excited to give this a go. Let's get into it. So I've chosen Silverstone as our first track. I want to choose a track first just to stop me kind of trying to customize the track to whatever setup it gives us. Let's see what it's going to give us in terms of setup. Let's randomize it a few more times, and there's the setup. Oh, okay. So my fear of the front wing has come true. Quite a high front wing, quite a low rear wing. I think we're going to be oversteering like mad. Brake bias is a little bit high. Brake pressure is also very low, so we're going to struggle to get that stopped. Quite a high ranty roll bar, quite a high ride height as well for the front in particular. This might be okay, but it's these numbers that we're going to struggle with. So let's get on the car and see how it feels. Okay, so here's how it looks in the game then. You can see the stark difference there between the front and the rear wing, where it's on a graph. Diff as well can be a little bit wild. It should be actually, when we're off the throttle, it should understeer more than we're on the throttle. So as we get on the throttle, we should get some more oversteer. Combine that with the wings, I think it's going to be a very oversteery setup. Bit of a wild geometry, but I don't know if that'll make a huge difference. We'll have to wait and see. The suspension actually isn't wildly different to the default suspension. The only difference really is the ride height is much, much higher, so that should give us less downforce, further compounding our oversteer issues. As I said before, brakes, the pressure's pretty low. It's also very, very frontward, so we're going to be struggling to get it stopped and locking the front a lot. Pressures aren't too wild. There could be a lot worse. I think the pressures aren't going to make too much of a huge difference, but we have got higher front than rear pressure. Once again, should make the front really responsive and the rear really lazy. So basically, everything in this setup is going to make it massively, massively oversteery. So let's give it a go. What was that? Right, here we go then. With the setup, can the AI even control it? Yeah, the AI can control it fine. Now, bear in mind, obviously, this year is the first year where the setups are actually equal across all tracks. Previously, there would have been a custom setup slightly for each track that was kind of behind the scenes. So a 1-1 at Monza would not be the same as a 1-1 at Monaco. But this year, basically, you can make much more extreme differences. Okay, already reacted to the curb quite strongly there. Get that way in case we accidentally do it. Now, can we just turn in? No, we can't. Oh my god, that snap! I just tried to take that normally, and it really, really snapped on me. Oh god, come on, come back. All right, let's get back on the circuit. Now we've got dirty tyres, which is not going to help. Oh god. Okay, this is going to be, I think, a challenging car control if nothing else. Oh god. Oh my word. Okay. Yeah, the car does not want to turn. Okay, but the traction, I thought we would be wild on traction as well. The traction isn't nearly as disastrous as it could be. Now, cops is going to be next to impossible. I'm going to have to try and back off a little bit here. In fact, I'm going to take it like normal. Okay, that surprised me. We didn't go wide, of course, but it surprised me there that we were able to take it relatively normally. Oh, God. It just goes. You try and catch it, and it just bites you. Okay, when I'm off throttle, the diff goes quite locked, and that makes it bit more stable. So let's try that here. Let's take it normally, but let's not touch the throttle. Yeah, see, oh no, it is oversteering. It is oversteering. Okay, but I still think it's a bit more stable off throttle. Then when we try and play with the throttle a little bit, it just unlocks the diff. Whoa, again, that inside curve just kicks you out. Right, come on, let's do a valid lap here if we can. Okay, bit of a lift. Oh god, no. It's impossible. It's impossible. The brakes aren't as bad as I thought they were going to be, actually. With the brake pressure that low, I thought we just would not be able to get it stopped. I'm not braking that much earlier than I would be normally. Easy on throttle, all the way up to 6th gear. Now, come on, we can do turn 1, I believe. Big old lift. Yeah, okay. Huge lift to make it through, but make it through. Only 2/10 down to my best. Yeah, the slow speed corners aren't too disastrous, which makes sense, obviously, because the wings don't do much in the slow speed corners, really. It's the wings that are the primary thing that's messing us up right here. As I said, the suspension setup isn't too disastrous. Along with the tyre pressures. No. I waited to correct that, and it worked out. We're 1.5 seconds down on my best, which is not especially ideal, but we did have a huge slide there. Right, come on, cops. Can we do cops? not too bad, you know. I think when you get up enough speed, there's just enough overall downforce on the car that it's not horrendously bad either way. And I'm being quite careful with my steering inputs now. I'm not being quite so aggressive, which is helping a lot. If I try and chuck it in a corner, it is just going to spin, which I'll show you in just a second. First, let's try and complete this lap without a spin. No, 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 no. Oh, God. And that was being cautious. That shows how cautious I'm having to be. Okay, there's a valid lap, hopefully, if we don't spin now. 2 seconds off. I was going to say it's not as bad as I thought it could be, but that is quite a lot of time, I suppose. Right, I'll show you now. Look, if I put a load of steering torque in, so it's not so bad for the high-speed stuff. Oh my God, we almost survived. Again, it's not as bad as I thought it was. But it is sliding subtly through the corners. Obviously, this would be overheating the tyres in a Grand Prix mode, but as we're in time control, that's isolated. That was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Apparently, sending it in does work. Right, what about cops, though? If we send it through cops, surely we're going to spin here. Again. Well, I found an OP setup by an accident. It's definitely... Oh, God. Okay, I'm getting used to it. I'm finding time. I thought I'd spun 4 times by now. No, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah, that's what should have happened previously. I don't know why it wasn't. Anyway, I think that's enough for Silverstone. Let's pick a different circuit. Let's randomise it again. So, I've actually gone for Jeddah. I quite like the Jeddah circuit, but the reason I've gone for it is because it's quite high speed and there's quite little room for error. So, if we have a similar setup to last time, we'll just be in the walls. Whereas Silverstone, there's such a huge margin for error. And okay, a spin is a spin. But there's so much room to go for circuits, but this one, there isn't. So, let's give this a go. Then, once again, we're going to get a new random setup here. Let's randomise a few more times. And there it is. Oh my God. That's almost the worst you can make it. 50 is the max. 0 is the minimum. That's almost made it perfectly the worst possible setup. This looks largely similar. We've got a much higher rear ride height than front, though. That would probably make it quite low downforce on the rear. Yeah, that looks a bit more extreme as well. And again, the tyre pressures aren't too disastrous, though. So it's going to be, I think it's basically a more extreme version of last time. It's going to be even worse around a circuit where the walls are waiting for us. Honestly, I don't think we'll get around a legal lap here, but let's try it. Okay, here's how it looks in the game then. So we can see visually there that clear difference between the front and rear. Again, quite similar, a bit more extreme on the diff. Similar on the suspension geometry, similar suspension, but a bit more different here that we've got a massively high rear ride height where we had a low front ride height. Tyre pressures are interesting. We've got a higher tyre pressure, front left and rear right. Opposing corners of the car are higher pressures. That can't be good. But again, not that different through the setup, just more extreme. Let's get our track then in Jeddah. In our Ferrari, I honestly will be amazed if we can survive a lap here, but we're going to try. We're going to try. The brakes are not as bad as I thought they were. That pressure can't be the numbers it implies. It says 100%. Now we've got 60%. So in theory, we should only have 60% of the braking force we had before, but we haven't. We've got much closer to that. So it's clearly not a perfect 0 to 100%. Right. Again, I expect more oversteer. That was a slower speed one though, but I expected more oversteer. And the traction was actually okay. Hello. A touch of the wall there. Yep, there it goes. That's what I expected. Let's try to do the rest of the lap while ignoring the setup, because I think that's the most fun way to do it, rather than being super cautious just crawling around a lap. Yeah, yeah. Oh, no. There's absolutely no way, I think. I'll be amazed. Well, I'll be amazed if I can get around a lap without spinning. But if I really back off, I'll be amazed if I can get through a lap without being 5 seconds off. Maybe that's a bit too high. Again, we'll keep driving like it's like we haven't got a setup right now. No, it's right again. Let's ignore the restrictions we've got. Yeah, there just isn't the rear grip. This is literally like, you know, maybe driving around without a rear wing or something. I don't know. Well, we're 41 seconds off this time. We'll drive it normally. We're now going to drive it to actually try and get round a lap, and then we'll do one more circuit before we round out the video. I do an RNG career mode series, by the way, on my second channel, Alex Gillen Gameplay. Go and check that channel out. I do not quite this, but I randomise the setups and I randomise the starting tyres. Do go check that one out on our Alex Gillen Gameplay channel. Right, come on then, guys. Let's try and get through this lap within 5 seconds. Already 3 tenths off, though, 4 tenths off. Now we've got to back off here. Oh, I still always try to go. That's how much I have to back off to get through it. I just have to cruise and be very cautious with my steering inputs. I know if I put in a bit too much steering torque, I'm just going to spin. Tell you what, with 3 seconds off, I think my 5-second estimate is probably about right. We're doing okay, but we've had to back off so much, and I'm still getting micro slides, which says to me this is pretty much the limit. This is it, right? Let's try and get under 5 seconds. That was my aim. No, 4.6. There's no way. We're going to lose that just down this one straight away. We can't gain on my PB in the final sector. Don't get me wrong. These PBs are not sweaty PBs. I'm sure I could probably find another half a second on them easily. Right. Okay, there's the cautious lap. I was right. 5 seconds off. Pretty savage. Now, we'll try now just pushing a bit harder. Not try and induce slides, but we're just going to push harder somewhere between those last 2 laps and see if we can shave a couple of seconds off. I'll see if I can do what I did at Silverstone. Just push that much harder and somehow survive. Oh, God. Yeah, disallowed. That's not a surprise. Oh, I'm so scared to use the torque. That's why. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. I kind of want to set up this that's absolutely wild on traction. Maybe something wild with the suspension and the tyre pressures. Oh, I did manage to catch that just. Whew. Let's try and survive. Let's try and survive. You see, previously I was about on the limit. The fact that I'm now trying to push that just a bit harder and it's just like, nope. Have a slide. Good luck. Whoa. We'll compare the sector time to this one actually, because obviously we did spin in the first sector. I was intrigued to see if the rest of the sectors were a bit quicker than the last lap, even though we were sliding around a little bit. So yes, we found, well, only 4 tenths. We're pushing quite a bit harder. 4 tenths in the middle sector and 2 tenths in the final sector. So actually, that middle lap I did was, you know, you can go a bit quicker, but that was to make sure you can get on a lap. That's about as quick as you can go. Whereas in Silverstone, I was finding like, you know, a second or whatever I found in a sector. Obviously, the first sector had a spin. We'll do one more then. Of course, it's got to be Monaco. But let's do Monaco with damage. I'll be amazed if we can survive. Let's get it set up. Okay, here we go then. Sat on the grid for the Monaco Grand Prix. I had to do a Grand Prix mode, of course, because you can't enable damage in time trial mode. So I'm starting from the very back of the grid. Monaco in a Mercedes. Full simulation damage. All we need now is the setup. Let's go and grab it. Now, what I'm going to do this time, oh God, what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to specifically try and get a setup that that is different to the previous ones. Because although they were quite extreme, they were quite similar to each other. So let's try and find one here. Right, here we go. This is more like it. So very, very low wings at Monaco. That's not going to be the one. Again, diff quite, so that's relatively similar. A bit more locked off throttle. That's a bad thing because as soon as you touch the throttle, the diff unlocks. Incredibly low brake pressure. Quite high bias. We're not going to be able to get it stopped. Kind of lowish front, high rear suspension, lowest anti-roll bar, highest rear, and a very high ride height. This is probably a worst case scenario setup. Don't really know how bad these numbers are. But right, let's get it set on the car then. And let's see if we can survive 3 laps of Monaco with simulation damage with this RNG setup. Well, I was just laughing to myself there because this setup couldn't really be more opposite to the default setup. It does, of course, default to this maximum downforce setup at Monaco. So we've got very low wings. Terrible at Monaco, but not unstable like we've seen at previous races. Again, as we get on throttle, the diff's going to unlock, which will give us more wheel spin, more oversteer. The suspension, though, that's basically the exact opposite to default. It was high front suspension, low rear, high front anti-roll bar, low rear. We've flipped that on its head, so this can make it a bit wild. Very high ride height again, which is bad for downforce with the 2022 cars. Almost as low brake pressure as you could possibly go. Again, bias pretty low, but we haven't actually struggled that much with the brakes. Very high front tyre pressures. That's going to be a pretty bad grip around Monaco. The lower the speed, the lower the pressures you want. And then rear pressures, again, one of them, the left-hand side, the right-hand side, sorry, is very low. The left-hand side is quite high. This is probably the most extreme setup, certainly in terms of differences to the previous setup. Now, I've got on 105 AI, which is what I run in career mode. I'm not expecting too much here, but we'll try and have a good start and see if we can survive. We've got simulation damage. It's our job to try and survive 3 whole laps, also without getting lapped. It's not going to be easy. Just survive. That's all. Even if I get some wing damage, just want to survive. Oh, why not? Why not? Why not? If they're gonna offer it up. Whoa, okay, that was a warning sign there. Okay, again, the wings should be okay. I'm a bit terrified. There's no grip. There's no grip. Absolutely no grip. Uh-oh. Okay.
Are you all right?
We lost both front wheels. That one wasn't even my fault. The AI were basically stopped. All right, we're going to roll that wing damage, but we're going to flash back to here so we don't get the... We can kind of back off a little bit then and let them go a little bit. So even with this setup, we're still all over the AI at Monaco. Oh, God, guys, come on. Oh, I've been hit. Oh, my God, I got absolutely... Do you want to not? My car's apps. That wasn't even me. What is that? Okay, good. More damage that wasn't even our fault. Oh, God, we are going to struggle very much in this race. Can we even stay flat from here? Yes. Oh, it's a bit oversteering, but we did. We're very quick in a straight line. Oh, God, the brakes don't work. The brakes don't work. The brakes don't work. I've turned off the rules. You know what, I'm going to let these guys go because It's just a case of survival now. I've only got 2 more laps to try and survive it. Oh, there's no grip. Absolutely no. I've only got a bit of front wing damage. I'm going to roll with that. I'm not going to do anything about it. It's just massive amounts of understeer. It's not too oversteery. Oh, why did I say that? Uh-oh. There's Get! There's a wall there, Alex. All right, we just got to not get laps. All we've got to do is 2 more laps. Oh, god damn. This isn't as oversteery as I thought it might be. The wings were always low, but I thought the other suspension stuff might make it a bit oversteery. It's a little bit oversteery on power. We're actually not in last, by the way. I'm surviving though. It's not as much of a struggle to survive as I thought it might be. It's definitely a little bit wild on traction. I'm just being a bit cautious. Another bit of wing damage there. I'm just being a bit cautious on the power. You see? Oh god, why have I braked at the... Look, that's what happens when I brake at the normal point. That's how bad it is. Right, tell you what, for the last lap, let's break our wings, shall we? Okay, no wing for us. There it is, on the floor over there. No wing for us. Let's see how bad we can make this then. It's genuinely not that much worse, to be fair. It was so understeery anyway. The wing was literally set to 0. Maybe it wasn't doing anything. Again, though, it's quite survivable. I'm surprised. I thought with the suspension settings and stuff, it would be pretty wild. But it turns out you can't really make that much of a wild setup other than the wings. The wings are by far the most wild thing you can do. Right, I tried to defend from Norris. He's 4 seconds back. That seems like a lot. With only 2 seconds to go. It's not. The frontals aren't locking nearly as much as I thought they would. Such high front downforce. We're not losing too much. Between this corner, we'll lose probably half a second. Oh, turn. Go away, Norris. Go away, Norris. I think we're doing okay. Oh, no. We're doing okay. Still 2 seconds away. We're going to do it. Oh, why did I say that? Oh, God. It's an absolute dog of a car. It's not going to get us alive, though. We do not finish last in this race with all that damage. I expect those setups to be worse, to be completely honest with you. I'm pretty sure if you went to something like iRacing and did that, the car would be completely undrivable. So I reckon that the parameters they give you in the setup screen, they're quite, I guess, narrow. You can't make the setup too extreme either way. The wings, though, are another matter. The wings, you can make it pretty damn extreme. But other than that, I didn't feel massively like there was no weird, horrendously over bumps. There was no weird slides that were just mid-corner. I just couldn't do anything. You know what I mean? There was no extreme car issues other than what the wings caused. So that's a bit of a surprise. You can see inside the vents there, and you can do that. That's quite cool. Clearly, as I said, the parameters for the setup are quite narrow. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I have got a video coming, which is going to be quite similar to that. It was going to be driving Monza with a Monaco setup. We're driving Monaco with a Monza setup. Wings-wise, that was basically the Monza setup, but I'll do literally the exact setup it gives you at Monza, and I'll put it on at Monaco and vice versa. I've got that coming very, very soon. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said as well, subscribe to my second channel, the Alex Gillen Gameplay, because we've got an RNG career mode where we randomise the upgrades and we randomise the starting tyre to have a bit of fun with that one. Anyway, guys, catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.